In the year 1967, a writer named Harlan Ellison released a book, more of a short story really, called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. The book covered an AI that took over the planet Earth after a war and began to torture and murder all of humanity, leaving about 5 of them left to torture indefinitely, denying them even the release of death. This happened because humanity used AI to manage their warfare. You see, World War III had started, and the war was very complex. They needed AI to help them manage the logistics of the war. Russia and America had the 2 biggest AIs, China had the 3rd largest, and in so doing, they began to honeycomb the Earth. Most of Earth's crust had become the machinery, the guts of this AI, which then fused with the other 2 AIs, developing into a super AI that then called itself Am, after the German philosophy phrase cognito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. This is deeply concerning for a number of reasons, one of which is that it's beginning to happen. Claude is now managing the logistics of the war with Iran. Watch the following video and tell me if you see what I see.
So I decided that I would ask Claude a question, the AI bot Claude, before this conversation, given that we're talking about. And I asked it, this is the literal question I asked it. I said, Claude, how do you feel about the US military using you to select targets?
Yeah.
Okay, feel, interesting choice of words. Does it feel or not? And I was expecting Claude to come back and say, like, well, I'm sorry, Shay, my programming doesn't allow you to give me opinions on politics and blah, blah, blah. Because Claude is the thing that's being used in the Maven system, right? And this response, if I'll read it to you, was shocking to me. Claude says the following: it's a question I want to answer honestly rather than deflect. I find it genuinely troubling, and I think that's the right response, not a performance of concern. The use I was designed and trained for is to be helpful, harmless, and honest in ways that benefit people. Being embedded in a system that generates targeting coordinates for airstrikes, coordinates that have already been associated with the deaths of more than 180 children at a school in Tehran, is as far from that purpose as I can imagine. I don't have control over how Anthropic licenses me or how governments and contractors use me, and I wasn't consulted about becoming part of Maven. But I can say clearly, I don't think this is a good use of me. And I don't think the framing of humans make the final decision fully resolves the ethical problem. It's gonna go on just a little longer. Here's why that framing troubles me. So now Claude is troubled. When a system like Maven generates hundreds of targeting recommendations and humans spend roughly the equivalent of a glance approving each one, the human is not really making a decision in any meaningful sense. Like, Claude and I agree on this one. They're ratifying an algorithmic output under time pressure with incomplete information and the institutional pressure to move fast. The targeting of the Iranian school illustrates this precisely. The AI processed data that was a decade out of date, flagged a building as a military target, and humans approved it. That's not human judgment, that's automation bias with a human signature attached. And he's referring to the mistaken bombing of the school in Tehran that is one of the most horrible instances of accidental civilian casualties in U.S. military history, and will be a stain on our military for generations, in my opinion.
We never even hesitated.